Hey folks, Keith Vision back in the saddle. Last one I did was in March this year, mid March, and that was episode 73. We are firing up the show, and this is episode 74. And I think we all pretty much know what's going on here with the government shutdown and everything. And there's this whole tennis match about who's in charge. Is it the children or is it Papa? So here's the thing. People don't understand that in order to get this passed, this continuing resolution, which already passed the House, the Republicans didn't add anything to it and they didn't subtract anything from it. It's just continue with the exact same budget expenditures that we had when we hit September 30. Democrats said, nope. And of course, Schumer and Jeffries were at the front. So right now you'll see all over social media, it is the Schumer Shutdown 25, or actually 2025. So people keep talking about the Republicans have the White House, they've got the Senate, and they've got the House. It's their fault government's closed. We're going to have just a real quick overview so everybody can get straight with this and you can pass it on to your friends. So here's Trump. And of course, Texas 2020 is noting here, critical thinking is needed to solve this. Trump holding his sign up, please explain if all the Republicans voted yes, and this is in the Senate, they need 60 votes. There's only 53 Senate Republicans. They need 7 Democrats. Please explain how it's the Republicans' fault. My point exactly. So here's where we still stand. From my understanding, there are still 2 Democrats that are voting with the Republicans to open the government up. John Fetterman is one of them, and he seems to be chewing on a red pill right now. He's not too happy with his party and the way they're doing things. And then there was one independent. So right now we have 56 in the Senate that are voting to open the government. Schumer and Jeffries refuse. That means all those other Senate Democrats are following their Borg commander. It's collective thinking, as we all know. Anyone watching this that's in a district that has a Democrat in the Senate that is holding out on this and their seat is coming up in midterms, you're in charge. Unseat that individual. This government should stay open. Now, here's the beautiful thing is, and this is also I know how God had a hand in bringing this show back in. You couldn't pick a better time for this show to fire back up, because in my episode 73, the last one, we covered Chuck Schumer. And he was all proud that the Senate has passed the bill to keep the government open, and now the bill heads to the President Biden's desk. In his X post, even a partial shutdown by extreme House Republicans would have threatened services for moms and kids, hurt our veterans, hurt farmers, home buyers, and so much more. And in a follow-up post to that, when the hard right says they want a shutdown, they are saying they want VA closures, take notes, no food inspections, frozen nutrition programs for women, infants, and children, right? That's the WIC program, WIC, delayed military benefits, and so much more. Now, the Mach 2 of where we're at right now, WIC is being covered. That is being covered by the incoming tariffs that were so evil. And they have been able to find money in the Pentagon to pay out yesterday's military benefits. That was such a problem that there was an individual in this country that is a rich person that said, if you can't find the money, I will pay the military benefits for the month. Interesting, eh? This is where we're at. I mean, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Schumer here is talking about how important it is to keep it open. And he and Jeffries won't let it open because they want to add $1.5 trillion back into the budget that was removed in the big, beautiful bill. And he's making it about health care for 20 million Americans. No, it's not the Americans. It's those that came into America against the law. Those are the illegals. And those are the ones that were removed from the medical that was freely given. So that said, pass this along. Share it far and wide. I am going to when it's posted. Yeah, good old Schumer. He needs to go. He needs to go. He's got to be knocking on 3 digits right now. I mean, you look at him and he's got his glasses glued to the bridge of his nose or the tip of his nose. He's just insane, but he will not let go. And what are you going to do? He owns it. It's got his name all over it. All right, so let's switch gears. I had a friend send me this article, and it was published May 9 of this year. So Trump signed an executive order to establish the National Center for Warrior Independence on the Veterans Affairs campus in West Los Angeles. So he signed this year. This is his second term. Now, as you go through this, it has some great information about the new work being done for the veterans. But I thought, as long as we're reviewing this, shouldn't we know what he did do in the first term? Yep, I agree. Exactly. So we go to the fact sheet at the White House. Oh, yeah, there you go. Democrats have shut down the government. They're at 15 days, 22 hours, and 9 minutes. This is the ticker at the White House. Gotta love it. I wish they could all just get together. So the fact sheet, President Donald J. Trump keeps promises to our veterans and establishes new Center for Homeless Veterans. This was the same day, May 9, 2025. Keeping our promise to our veterans. The order directs Secretary of Veterans Affairs to establish the National Center for Warrior Independence on the Veterans Affairs West Los Angeles campus. Los Angeles, where have I heard that name before? Oh, yeah, Mayor Bass and her leader, Mr. Mussolini himself. Interesting times, right? So basically, the bullets off of that, the homeless veterans in the Los Angeles metropolitan area and around the nation can avail themselves of this center to seek and receive the care, benefits, and services to which they are entitled. The funds previously spent on housing or other services for illegal aliens, there you go, there it is, will be redirected to construct, establish, and maintain this center. The center will promote self-sufficiency through housing, substance abuse, treatment, and support for productive work for the veterans that are housed there. The goal is to house up to 6,000 homeless veterans at this center by 2028. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on in here that they are giving fact checks to. You can look this up on whitehouse.gov to get all the different details. But what I wanted to do is let's take a little walk back in time. Let's take the time machine and bring it back to Trump's first term. What did he do for Veterans Affairs and Veterans Administration? So this came from Grok, which is on the X platform. This is the AI. And you have to really conceal Grok into a little box to say, just give me the nuts and bolts. Don't give me the whole picture, right? So I'm going to touch on a bunch of different things in here. This is what Trump did, then what Biden did or didn't do, and then what Trump did as we go through first term, and Trump's second term. So Trump's first term, he signed several pieces of legislation and implemented executive actions aimed at reforming the Department of Veteran Affairs to improve access to care, reduce wait times, enhance accountability, and expand options for veterans. Gee, what an idea. These efforts focused on modernizing the VA system, increasing community-based care, and addressing mental health needs. Yeah, these guys come out of being in the military and have either had their boots on the ground in other countries and done some terrible things, or were just helping out with logistics and everything else that goes on with it. And then they get dumped back into the civil world. And so, yeah, they're going to need some help. And we should be helping them anyway. Are you kidding? The salary these guys get? These guys, these men and women, that's it, right? Men and women. We'll leave it at that. So so below's a summary of the key steps. So here's some of the things that he did in the first term. Signed the VA Choice and Quality Employment Act of 2017. There's all kinds of extra details in here. In the interest of time for a 30-minute show, this can always be looked up. All you got to do is go searching for it. But I wanted to highlight the big stuff so we can kind of get an idea of what did happen, what happened in between Trump's two terms, and what's happening now from the best of information we have, because he's only been in the White House for 9 months, 8.5, 9 months, depending on where you pick it, right? So he also signed the VA Accountability and Whistleblower Protection Act of 2017. Made it this is the big one. You couldn't hire or you couldn't fire or discipline anybody in there. And he was basically saying, hey, if they're underperforming and they're not doing their job for our veterans, why do we have them there? If you have a company and you got somebody that's a slug and they're not getting anything done and they're a pain to their fellow employees, why keep them? That's kind of like a no duh. Signed the Veterans Appeals Improvement and Modernization Act. This basically streamlined the VA appeals process for benefits and care decisions. Gee, there's a thought, leading to faster resolutions and record numbers of appeals processed, reducing backlogs that delayed veterans' access to needed services. They need help. Why are we delaying them? Right? And this was going on before Trump ever came down the escalator. And what he did is put in place measures to fix it. So he also secured record funding for the VA. In 2018, he signed the largest ever VA funding bill at $86.5 billion with a B, because now we're in T's. We got to stick with the billion, which included $8.6 billion for mental health services and $400 million for opioid prevention, expanding resources for veterans care programs. These are all just common sense things we should be doing for our soldiers, right? We send them out to hell and we expect them to come back in and work at McDonald's or whatever the case may be, just assimilate right back in. We're not asking the illegal aliens to assimilate. I think the military should they should be hand walked back into civilization and given what they need. He also signed the VA Mission Act of 2018. This made the Veterans Choice Program permanent, expanded eligibility for community care outside the VA facilities. This was huge, and improved access to urgent care, telehealth, and same-day mental health services at every VA medical center, allowing veterans to get care closer to home without bureaucratic hurdles. Expanded telehealth services. This is a no-duh. Keep it simple. Do I have to drive into the doctors? No, let's just do it, right? Make it easy. They saw 1,000% increase in usage during the COVID-19 pandemic. Whatever, whatever that thing was. We talked about it on this show. You can look, you can go back and look. Modernized VA medical records. Here's a thought. Initiated a system to seamlessly transition electronic health records from the Department of Defense, which is now the Department of War, the DOW, and the VA, reducing errors, delays, and care continuity for newly separated service members. All of this stuff was just like, we were not doing this? What are you talking about? I launched online tools for transparency, make it simple, allow these folks to be able to get into their systems to understand. Establish the White House VA hotline, 24/7 hotline. He formed the Prevents Task Force, which is the president's roadmap to empower veterans and end a national tragedy of suicide. Prevents. He did that in 2019. He signed it. That's a no-brainer, right? He also signed the Johnny Isaacson and David P. Rowe, MD Veterans Healthcare and Benefits Improvement Act 2020. That's a mouthful. So enacted in January 2021, as he was leaving office, this comprehensive bill expanded pandemic-related assistance, improved healthcare access, and updated benefits processes to make the VA more efficient and veteran-friendly during crisis. Duh, right? So I thought to myself, okay, that said, we had a 4-year gap in Trump's presidency. Those of you that follow me, you know how I stand on that. During Joe Biden's term as president, did he undo any of Trump's VA actions and or let any lapse? Interesting. So key here is VA Accountability and Whistleblower Protection Act. Trump signed it into law, made it easier to fire or discipline underperforming VA employees and to improve service quality. Duh. The administration reached a 2023 settlement in the American Federation of Government Employees. Here we go, the unions, right? The largest VA union resolving litigation challenging parts of the act. This led to the reinstatement of over 100 employees who had been fired under the law during Trump's term, along with back pay and settlements totaling over 134 million for hundreds more affected workers. So we got rid of the cancer. We put the cancer back in and then we fed it. What? Really? I feel sorry for that they had lost their jobs, but not for them. If I was underperforming at a corporate job, I'd be fired. I'd be written up and fired. And these guys, oh, they got a settlement. Great. And yeah, the critics were very against this. The VA Mission Act of 2018. This made the Veterans Choice Program permanent and expanded community care options outside VA assistance facilities. That was Trump. Under Biden, the act was not repealed or allowed to lapse. Instead, the administration continued its implementation with community care spending increasing during his term. Good for you, Biden. The VA also made it easier for veterans to access community care by simplifying eligibility and reducing bureaucratic hurdles in 2024 and 2025 updates. And that's when Trump was stepping into office, right? Republicans did, and veterans groups did criticize Biden VA for allegedly limiting referrals to private providers to control costs. But of course, that money had to go somewhere else, and I think we know where it went. And it'll probably be covered in future shows. Claiming this undermined the Act's spirit of expanded choice. Duh. No formal reversal occurred. the Biden signature PACT Act, complemented it by expanding the VA eligibility for toxic exposed veterans, leading to millions more enrollments. So this is good. We're taking care of them, and that's under Biden. Trump's initiative allowed for cross-state telehealth. No reversal or lapse. Telehealth was further expanded. That was under Biden. This is good. These are good things. Record VA funding. Trump secured historic funding levels. Under Biden, funding not only continued but increased significantly, with Biden's budgets requesting and securing record highs, $369 billion proposed for 2025. This supported expanded benefits under the PACT Act, which basically they just added a whole list of things that needed to be covered. They're going to need more money, but they did it. I'm okay with that. Lord knows, was $369 billion needed? Don't know. White House VA line. They basically consolidated it from the VA line to the main call center. And there were some issues in there about, yeah, we aren't getting the help we were getting when we had a specific VA hotline that we could talk to directly. President's roadmap to empower veterans and end suicide. Under Biden, no explicit reversal or lapse. Efforts continued under broader VA mental health initiatives, including expanded same-day services and partnerships. Good. The task force's roadmap informed ongoing programs with no reports of it being disbanded. This is good. Other Trump era actions, there's a whole list of these here that we were, that is listed in there. Trump did a lot in his first term. We're in his second term now. So I asked, okay, is there any data that show veteran feedback of the VA under Trump's first term or Biden? And I'm going to take this down to the bottom section because that's where I got a much better summary. Not, Trump friendly or Biden friendly, but easier to review. So VA funding hit $86.5 billion in 2018, and the hotline was launched. The VA trust rose from 55% to 80% outpatient trust. And outpatient trust was 85% to 90%. Biden's term, he continued most reforms, notably passing the PACT Act, which expanded the toxic exposed veterans that we talked about. The VA trust peaked at 80.4%, 0.2% higher than Trump. Yay. Outpatient was at 92%. The PACT Act that we just talked about. Then the National Center for War Independence. So this is coming into the second term of Trump. Trump's executive order designated the West LA VA campus to house 6,000 homeless vets by 2028. We talked about that earlier. This needs to be done by 2028. What's happening in 2028? I'm thinking. I'll get back to you. Planning is underway with 500 temporary shelters active and construction set for 2026, pending funding and legal resolutions. It's in Los Angeles. Hello. Of course, there's legal resolutions. Trust comparison, the VA remained high, 79% in 2025, post executive order. So that was in March or May. Trump's personal approval was 44 to 45%, lagged behind VA metrics with no clear veteran trust boost from the EO. Gotta remember, this was May. This just happened. We don't have the full picture of 4 years, right? And also everything happening within this. But it was interesting how that article, for me, went from, well, it's an interesting article, but look how far back it was that this article was written. You're talking May 9. So what's happened since then? What happened before then? Um, so I went down the rabbit hole, and it was quite interesting to find out, where we were and where we are. Interesting times. Interesting times for sure. So good old Chucky Schumer again. A little housekeeping before we seal this up. If you able to support the show, you can hit me up on Venmo. That QR code will take you straight to it. It's at Keith-Ruland, REULAND. And I also have a buymeacoffee.com at Keith's Vision, no apostrophe, no space. That QR code will take you there as well. Life verse. I was thinking about a verse to put on here, and this one really is the one that fits, because this thing just kind of wraps up everything. The gospel, why Jesus came, why he had to die, and the fact that he came back to life and seated at the right hand of the Father. So this is Galatians 2:20. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Any of those that have been following me in the past, you see this slide. So we're coming to a crossroads in the near future. We don't know how far out it is, but the church will be removed from this planet. And there will be somewhere in that neighborhood afterward a 7-year tribulation. If you have not gotten your salvation before your first death, which could come in the tribulation, it could come from a heart attack, it could come from anything. There are no do-overs. This is your eternal life. People gamble with this. You can either have the smoking section or the non-smoking section. It's up to you. Hell on the left side, heaven on the right side. The reality is we are all feeling the spiritual warfare. It's getting very out of control. The sides are really pumped up, shall we say. And even people that are not believers can feel something. They don't know what to call it. They just know that there's something different that has been happening of late. Read John. Go in and read John. Read the whole thing. It'll give you the gospel. It'll give you every information you need in there to get the basics to understand. And before you read it, just say, Jesus, show yourself to me. And don't say it flippantly. If you want him to show yourself, or, if you want to spend eternity in hell, that's a choice. God does give us a choice. And even not choosing is a choice, because the heavens declare his glory. So you don't even need to choose to lose. Second Amendment, we know about the Second Amendment. I've covered this in the past. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That means nothing else. As you read it, that's what it is. The help me sign, I've had this in my show for a long time. Trafficked kids, trafficked women, anybody's in an abusive relationship, whatever. This is the sign language for help me. Get to know it and get the family to know it. Tower Garden, we've talked about this on my previous shows. Grow your own lettuce in your own controlled environment. That QR code right there will take you to kruland.towergarden.com. With that, I will be back next week. This does not have a definitive day that these will post, but as soon as I post these, you will know about it. Thank you again for your time and the support of all of you that followed me before. Have a great week.